Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines. God's delays are not God's denials. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Winning starts with beginning. I'd rather attempt to do something great and fail than attempt to do nothing and succeed. When you can't solve the problem, manage it. Turn your scars into stars. Anyone can count the seeds in an apple, but only God can count the number of apples in a seed. Goals are not only absolutely necessary to motivate us, they are essential to really keep us alive. I think a good pastor is somebody who is honest and humble and has a really caring heart. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Build a dream and the dream will build you. Never cut a tree down in the wintertime. Never make a negative decision in the low time. Never make your most important decisions when you are in your worst moods. Wait. Be patient. The storm will pass. The spring will come. It is difficult to say what is impossible, for the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and the reality of tomorrow. Spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular preparation. Jesus never called a human being a sinner. It takes but one positive thought, when given a chance to survive and thrive, to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts. What great thing would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? If you listen to your fears, you will die never knowing what a great person you might have been. Every person is responsible for all the good within the scope of his abilities, and for no more and none can tell whose sphere is the largest. Goals must never be from your ego, but problems that cry for a solution. Anybody who succeeds is helping people. The secret to success is find a need and fill it. Find a hurt and heal it. Find a problem and solve it. Better to do something imperfectly than to do nothing perfectly. You can often measure a person by the size of his dream. Failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet. Life is but a moment. Death also is but another. I want to build friendships. I want to come across as being a good illustration of what Jesus is like. I was called to start a mission, not a church. There is a difference. Today's accomplishments were yesterday's impossibilities. The truth of the matter is that you always know the right thing to do. The hard part is doing it. Never underestimate your problem or your ability to deal with it. Always look at what you have left. Never look at what you have lost. You never suffer from a money problem. You always suffer from an idea problem. Our greatest lack is not money for any undertaking, but rather ideas. If the ideas are good, cash will somehow flow to where it is needed. You are what you think about all day long. What appears to be the end of the road may simply be a bend in the road. High achievers spot rich opportunities swiftly, make big decisions quickly, and move into action immediately. Follow these principles, and you can make your dreams come true. The hardest struggle of all is to be something different from what the average man is. Most people who succeed in the face of seemingly impossible conditions are people who simply don't know how to quit. The only place where your dream becomes impossible is in your own thinking. If there exists no possibility of failure, then victory is meaningless. Press on. Obstacles are seldom the same size tomorrow as they are today. Negative thinking is subtle and deceptive. It wears many faces and hides behind the mask of excuses. It is important to strip away the mask and discover the real root emotion. It takes guts to get out of the ruts. Again and again, the impossible problem is solved when we see that the problem is only a tough decision waiting to be made. How we express ourselves in worship remains up in the air. A mission is a place where you ask non-believers to come and find faith and hope and feel love. You will suddenly realize that the reason you never changed before was because you didn't want to.